Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today's video is going to be an update video. I am going to be updating you on my Bust My Stash series that I started last year, January 2020, and now we're in January 2021. So I thought I would update you on how far I got in trying to bust my stash. So if this is your first time joining me, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, last year, January 2020, I started a series called Bust My Stash. I realized I have so much yarn and I decided to try to do something about it and see what I could make out of my yarn for the entire year and really try not to buy new yarn. And I did pretty well. I hardly bought any yarn. I don't want to say I didn't buy any because that wouldn't be true, but really I probably spent less than $10 in yarn, but I really hardly spent any money on yarn. Maybe less than $20. Let's say that. $10 is probably stretching it a little bit. So in January 2020, I showed you how much yarn I have or had. So for my challenge, I took a bin of yarn for each month, filled it up with yarn, and took that bin and then tried to see what I could make out of it. And then I would update you at the end of the month to see, how I did, my progress, and then introduce you to the new bin of yarn. So if you want to go back and watch those videos, certainly feel free. I will try to link the playlist below. I'll probably have a lot of links below in the description box because, and this probably will be a long video too, so I apologize. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. I do think I made a bit of a dent. I did make a lot of things, and I actually calculated how many things I actually made for 2020, how many projects, and also how many patterns I made for 2020. So I actually wrote everything down because I could never memorize it all. And I will share with you, I'll do a quick little project, I don't know what the term is for you, so you can see everything that I did. And I will show you a couple final things that I made for 2020, and I also do have some things that I've already made for 2021, believe it or not. And I'm also going to update you for what I'm planning for 2021, as I do have a plan. It's not going to be a Bust My Stash series, but I do have some ideas that I'm going to be, hopefully that you guys will enjoy. So to wrap up 2020, I will show you what I completed at the very end of 2020. Like, these were right around Christmas time that I finished up. And I did do a 12 Days of Warmth series. So some of these projects are leftovers from that I hadn't quite finished when I did my last update video. So now you can see the finished ones, and I can link those patterns below if you're interested in those. So one of the patterns is, so we have this cowl here, and it's called Deco Triangles Cowl, I think. My brain is fried, I apologize. But this is definitely a cowl. It's made in a half double crochet third loop technique, and I also use Stylecraft DK or Stylecraft Special DK yarn. But I actually really love this cowl too. This like rogue hair that's driving me nuts. So yeah, still haven't got my hair cut too. Maybe 2021 I'll get my hair cut. I hope. It's been a year. And I do have a written pattern. I have also a video for this pattern, and I really am happy with how this one turned out. So another project that I finished, I can't remember if this one was finished in the last video. I'm not sure if I showed this to you or not, but it's a scarf. So here is the scarf. I might have been half done when I showed it, but it is completely done now, and I made it for myself. I try to make myself a scarf every winter. And so this one is this winter scarf, and I love scarves anyway, so any excuse to make a scarf for myself, I'll do it. But this is the Tunisian Delight scarf, and it's made all in Tunisian crochet, and the yarn I used for this was Ice Yarns Magic Light, I believe it's called, and this was gifted to me actually. So yeah, I love this scarf. I think it turned out really pretty. So I have 3 more projects for 2020 to wrap up 2020. So I will show you those. So my next project is a knitted project that I had been working on, and I think I had showed it in a couple project video or Bust My Stash update videos. But this one, it's actually done now, and this is a knit version of my pizza slice scarf cowl I'm not sure what to call it, but it kind of reminds me of a slice of pizza. And I had made a crocheted version of this, which you will see when I do my little quick project run through for 2020. But I wanted to see if I could come up with a knit version and actually learn some new things. I learned how to do buttonholes, which it was hard to do that, but I found a really great tutorial on YouTube, and she was really like step by step, slow. A lot of the tutorials I found were just going way too quickly for me, and you know, I'm not the best knitter, so I really need someone to dumb it down for me. And this woman, I'm sorry, I can't remember her video. I know it's saved in my favorites, but this was great. And I was able to figure it out and learn how to do it. So I'm really proud of myself. And how to wear this scarf is then you thread the skinny end in the holes, you know, all the way down, and then you knot it. And again, you will see this in the little project wrap up segment that I have in this video. Okay, so I have 2 more projects to go, and these, I had just one done in the last video, so I know these were not finished, and this was part of my 12 days of warmth, and they are completely done. So here we are, my fingerless mitts. Here, I forget what I called these things. Again, 2020. Textured mitts maybe, but I actually really like these. I do wear these around the house sometimes. I get cold easily, and I know some people think fingerless mitts are completely useless and stupid, but I actually find them to be useful, especially in the wintertime if I'm in the house or I'm working on my computer. I do get cold, but you know, I need my fingers free, and I like to wear them if I'm typing, or it helps keep my wrists warm. And this, I really do find that they help in keeping me warmer, or even doing housework, folding clothes, whatever, because you can still like function, where when you're wearing, you know, gloves or mittens, then you can't function as well. So I actually find these to be quite useful. And then my last project was not done for 2020 when I showed you some of it, but it is all done now. So here is my trees scarf or wrap made out of Premier chunky yarn that I got at the dollar store. So this was a yarn purchase, but you know, it was at the dollar store and it was $1. And it's actually very soft. This yarn is super, super soft. And this pattern uses a stitch of the week, trees stitch pattern. So I thought it would make a fun wrap. I consider this more of a wrap, but you could also make a scarf out of this. A tutorial, you know, shows you how to do, you know, whatever you want to do. You could even use lace weight yarn. Any kind of weight yarn would really work for this. I think a thread project would look really pretty with this. But I wanted a wrap for myself. Again, as I said, I get cold easily. And this thing is warm. Like, you would not think, but I wrap this around my shoulders, and I am just shocked of how warm this thing keeps me. I've been using it a lot. So, and it has a little lace, you know, border at the end. So that was my final project of 2020, and again, I'll show you, you know, everything that came up. So let's do the tally of how much I actually made for 2020. So I actually did tally it up. I've got my clipboard here. So for knitting, we'll start with knitting because I didn't do as much knitted projects, but I did do 4 knitted projects, and I knitted 1 hat. And I knitted 1 headband or ear warmer, probably more like an ear warmer, and then I knitted 2 cows this for 2020. So for me, knitting, that's pretty darn good because I don't knit that fast or that well. So for crocheting, I actually made, hopefully I didn't forget anything, but I don't think I did. I made 46 items. So tallying the 2 together, I made 50 items for 2020. I didn't do that on purpose. It just kind of worked out that way, which I don't know, I guess it's a lot. Maybe it's not a lot, but I guess it's a lot. So out of those 46 crochet items, I made 9 hats. I made 3 headband, probably more ear warmers. I made 3 scarves. I made 4 cows. We have 2, I have everything in categories to make it easier. So I made 2 wraps / shawls, they're either or. I made 2 pairs of fingerless mitts or fingerless gloves. I made 3 pairs of mittens. I made 1 pair of slipper socks. So I have the feet category, so slipper socks, I'm calling them. I made 1 sweater. And now I also have a doll category because I do make doll items and then others. So this was, I tried to start with the head and working the way down so I could remember everything. So in the doll category, I made 1 doll or 1 hat for a doll, and this is for 18-inch dolls. I made 2 sweaters and then like 1 top. It's a halter top. So that was 3 in the sweater top category. I made 1 pair of pants. I made 1 pair of shoes, sandals for the doll. I made 1 bag, so that's like an accessories category. So I made a little beach bag for the doll, and I can link all those patterns below if you're interested in those. And now we're doing like the home category. So I did make 1 dishcloth, and I have that pattern. It wasn't people's favorite, but I can link that too. I have 2 scrubbies that I made, or little like face cloth buffy things or whatever. I made 3 blankets, and then I made 5 just squares that my goal was to piece them together to make an entire blanket, but I came to the conclusion I don't love making square. Like, I don't mind making squares, but I don't like piecing them together. It's just not my favorite type of crocheting, the motifs and then sewing them or stitching them together. But I should just, tough it out and make enough to make a blanket, because I do like the way it looks when it's done. I just don't really enjoy that process of sewing and piecing them together. If a project calls for motifs, I'm usually like, next. But I should, just tough it out and make those guys. So yeah, altogether that's 50 projects for 2020, which I think is pretty good. And then I did also calculate how many patterns out of this, because all these projects I didn't make patterns out of all of them, but I decided to see how many patterns that I came up with for 2020. So altogether I came up with 28 new patterns, which I was pretty pleased with, and some are free and some are paid and some have a video, so obviously the video would be free, and some are just a written pattern. So, not too shabby, I think, for 2020. I feel like I was pretty productive. So that was, 2020 for me as far as projects and patterns goes, and trying to go through my stash. And as I said before, I'm not going to do, continue that series. Of course, I'm going to keep working through my stash, but, what's next? What's up for 2021? So I've been trying to think about what to do for 2021. 2021. It's not that hard to say. And one of the things that I would like to do is, I am really close to 1,000 subscribers, which, thank you so much. Everybody that subscribed to me, commented, I really means a lot to me. I'm at 800 something right now. So I am definitely getting close to 1,000, so that's really exciting for me. So once I do reach 1,000 subscribers, I would really like to give back to you guys and do a giveaway. Thinking of doing 2 giveaways, because I know I do have international subscribers, and then I live in the US, so I have subscribers in the US. And right now with COVID, and our mail system has been hit or miss, actually. I think would be really difficult to ship internationally, so I thought my one prize would be for anybody in the US would be, I'm thinking, definitely yarn, some kind of yarn package that I'm still kind of thinking about what yarn I would like to get, and then do a drawing for that. And of course, once I do hit 1,000 and do the giveaway, I'll have all the rules and all that stuff in there. But I do want to, I don't want to forget about my international subscribers, because, I really appreciate you guys as well. And so I thought I would do a pattern giveaway that I'm still thinking about how many patterns, but basically I would let you choose whatever patterns. I mean, I do have free ones, but I have a lot of paid ones too. So hopefully whoever would win, I would open it up, I guess, to international and US subscribers, but this is for anybody, anybody could win. And hopefully one of my international friends would win the pattern giveaway, and then you could choose whatever pattern you want. And if you're on Ravelry, then I could just gift it to you through Ravelry. But if you're not, you know, email, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Yes, once we reach 1,000, we'll get that whole thing going. So really, really close. So thank you again so much for everyone that, you know, is taking the time to support my little channel. So hopefully we'll keep growing for 2021. So anyway, for 2021, I was looking and seeing what people seem to be enjoying with my channel, and I didn't realize, my daughter pointed it out to me, that the doll patterns seem to be a big hit with you guys. You seem to really enjoy the 18-inch doll stuff that I put up there. And so I thought for 2021 we're going to do, I'm going to call it the year of the 18-inch doll. So for each month I thought I would do a, sorry if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes here because there's a lot going on with this video, but I thought I would do a doll pattern of the month. So each month I'll have a pattern for an 18-inch doll. And of course I will still do my stitch of the week. I don't get that many views with it, but I really enjoy doing the stitch of the week. So that's kind of more for me, and hopefully, you know, that would continue to grow. And I love learning new stitches and finding new stitches and sharing them with you guys. I love stitch dictionaries. If I have a couple of them at home. I love coming up with our stitches on my own. Not that I really make new stitches, because, as you know, like fashion, nothing is ever new. It's just kind of recycled, or just you know, take an old concept and put a new twist on it. So I never want to claim that a stitch that I do is, you know, I invented it, because I'm sure I did it. But I love to share, you know, something that I came up with. So I'm going to keep doing the stitch of the week, and that's every Wednesday. And so yes, I'm going to do a doll pattern of the month. I thought I would still do like a project update video. People seem to enjoy those, and I do enjoy them too. It is kind of nice to see what I did, you know, at the end of the month. So we'll have the doll pattern of the month. I think I will try to have those at the beginning of the month. So for the doll pattern of the month for January, it's going to be at the end of January, but hopefully February, and then moving forward, I will have the patterns, you know, within the first week of the month, the doll pattern of the month. And I will still do other patterns. I have ideas for other patterns. I still want to do a blocking video. I know some people were requesting that, and I have the footage. I just kind of have to compile it and get all the information together. So that's something that, you know, a goal of 2021, have that blocking video up. So now that we got 2020 out of the way, and I introduced what I'm going to be doing for 2021, the year of the doll, the 18-inch doll, I feel like I'm coming full circle, because I started my crochet journey really making patterns. I've been crocheting for a long time, for 20-some years, but when I started making my own patterns, it started with 18-inch dolls. So they always have a special place in my heart, even though my kids have kind of outgrown the dolls. Yeah, so for 2021, as I said, I already started with some projects, so I am going to show you what I have accomplished for 2021 so far. What I've made so far, and this is going to be a pattern, the doll pattern of the month for January. I'm still working on that, so hopefully that will be up soon. And it's a hat. So here we go. And this is called the Beginner's Luck hat for an 18-inch doll. And I also have a hat, this same hat pattern for a person, people hat, that I thought it would be cute to have a matching hat. If you wanted to make a hat for a little girl or a little boy. Little boys can play with dolls too. And then they could also have a matching hat with their doll. So I thought that would be a really cute thing. Now my Beginner's Luck hat pattern, I do have a video for that I made a while ago. It's pretty awful. I'm going to be redoing that video. But if this hat goes up, this pattern goes up before I get that done, I will link the terrible one for now. You can get a good chuckle out of it. I do have a free written pattern for the people size version, and that hat, it's one size, but I think, you could, even with the Beginner's Luck, I keep calling it people version, you could go down a hook size, go up a hook size, to kind of help with the fit. But this hat is made with worsted weight yarn, or number 4, And I really came up with this idea to use up scraps of yarn. So this is a really great scrap project. So like I said, I'm still going to try to use up my yarn. You could make it all in one color too, but I think it looks the best using more than one color. So here we go, beginner's luck. I call it beginner's luck too because it uses basic crochet stitches. So if you are a newer crocheter and you know the basic stitches, you can make this hat. And I do have links for all the basic stitches. I might redo that too, that whole Learn to Crochet series, because again, those beginning videos are a little bit rough. I have another beginner's luck hat that I made. So here's another one. Again, just, whoops, there's something on there. But there's, you know, again, 3 colors. I didn't have much of these guys, so they're at the top of the hat. And this hat is made top down. I like making a lot of hats bottom up, but you might get tired of that technique. So this one is hot top down. So that will be the doll pattern of the month for January. And then I already have one for February, and it's going to be a matching sweater for the hat. So here's Sage. She's got a little bit of a hair situation, but she's still very cute. And she's an American Girl doll. So hopefully this sweater will fit most 18-inch dolls. Some 18-inch dolls, they do vary a little bit in size. You know, some have thinner waists, wider waists. You know, the head sizes might vary a little bit, but they should fit most 18-inch dolls. I made a matching sweater to go with the hat. So this is another beginner's luck hat, and this was made with just 2 colors, but this yarn, I didn't have a lot of this multicolored yarn, and so it looks like you use more than one color, and it's a really fun yarn. So I thought it would be really fun in the hat and then really fun for the sweater. You know, if you are a newer crocheter and you want to, you know, expand your skills a little bit, this would be a really great project, I think, to do that. And again, with this sweater, you can use 1 color, 2 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors. Every row could be a different color. You could, you know, really, again, use this as a scrap project. So yeah, this will be the February doll pattern of the month. So already, you know, got 2 months down, and I think it's going to be a fun little series. And as I said before, I will have other patterns as well, because I like to make other things too. And I am trying to knit again, and I'm trying to knit something for myself. I'm trying to knit a sweater, and I'm using that Lion Mandala yarn. So the color combinations are, you know, kind of interesting, but this is going to be for me. Hopefully it will fit, and I think it's going to be a fun sweater. I love sweaters. I love warm, cozy things, and I actually really like this yarn. I like the way it feels. I've made some cows and hats out of it, and I just thought it would make a nice sweater. All right, so that's everything for 2021 so far. So let's get on to how much yarn I used up for 2020. And here is my current yarn situation. So we still have quite a bit of yarn left after my stash busting challenge here. So this is a top shelf. I have 4 full bins of yarn, or abandoned projects that I'm going to redo eventually or take apart. And then on the bottom we have 10 bins down here. So still quite a lot of yarn, and I do have some yarn. I'm in my basement right now upstairs, and I have another bin that's probably about this size, this guy here, full of yarn that I'm currently working on. I have, like, they're for scrap projects or swatches or stitch of the week. So about 15 bins of yarn that I still have. But I actually before, if you remember the before, there's another shelf that I couldn't fit all my yarn just on this shelf. So I actually had, there's another shelf in my basement that I had some yarn on. So I was able to condense some things, and I was able to, actually there's 4 bins left. So here in the basement here, these are 4 bins right here that had been full of yarn. So that's pretty good. So if I had started off with, or if I have 15 now, and then, so I've had about 19 bins of yarn. So, because this is 4 right here, so now I have 15. So, you know, can't complain too much about that. So, as you can see, I still have quite a bit of work ahead of me. A lot of yarny adventures ahead of me here. So I'll still be working through my stash. I'm not going to do another Bust My Stash series, but I'm still going to be working on getting this yarn stash down and seeing what I can make out of it. So you will be seeing some of this yarn in future patterns, future projects.
And I have been, so yeah, I filmed a series, or decided to have a bin of the month. So I took a bin of yarn and, you know, was the January, February, you know, each month had its own bin, and then decided to see, or then I'll show you, you know, a quick little project. Oh crap, what is that term? Brain is fried.